Gus! I think we're good. Welcome back to Quick Looks with Lumberjack Smack. My name is Bobby. I am joined by my friend and colleague, Chase Koeneke. Chase,
Hi, Bobby.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to see this game that you have to show me.
I've never shown you or talked about Cadence of Hyrule.
You've talked about it quite a bit.
Maybe a little bit. So, Cadence of Hyrule came out back in June, June 13th to be exact. It is by
Brace Yourself Games.
Brace Yourself Games. It's $25 on the eShop currently.
This is the Crypt of the Necrodancer people.
Crypt of the Necrodancer follow-up. They had positioned this game as a DLC for the Necrodancer series, and they said, we're going to instead pitch it to Nintendo. Nintendo said, you know what? Let's go ahead and make a game here.
Why?
Wild. So what we've done here is loaded into a brand new story. We are playing as Cadence currently. This is her bouncing around here at the screen. You'll notice the movement. There's a little bit of a hop. There's no current beat playing that we have to keep up with, but this is a situation where we're going to be playing as Princess Zelda for this quick look. So I'm going to hand this over to her, and you get a little breakdown here. That flash, it looked like the Triforce. I knew you were special. Thank you for helping to wake Zelda. She has been asleep for a while, so I'm going to stay with her to explain what's going on in Hyrule.
So this is still really early.
This is the beginning of the game.
Okay.
We had just loaded in past the tutorial. You can choose to play as Link, or you can choose to play as Zelda. And for this quick look, like I said, we're going to play as Zelda.
And you've beaten this game, right?
I have beaten this game.
Multiple times?
I've beaten the game once. I've done there's a few different game modes that I go back into it to play. I find myself going into it primarily listening to the music and play around.
But do you unlock the other character during the playthrough, or like Link and Zelda's playthroughs completely separate?
You can actually go back and forth between the two of them as you progress in the game.
Okay.
Cadence, however, the character from the Necrodancer series that we're playing as right now, she is only available later on in the game. Okay. So you start off with her. She kind of sets up the stage for what's going on, and then you take over in this world, and now we are Zelda.
Cool.
So this view will look familiar for anybody who's been playing Zelda for some time. It draws heavily from A Link to the Past.
I can see that, yeah.
Some of the similar things, like you're going to be... The pots you can't do much with right now. You just bounce against them, as you can see here. And again, I'm holding down the joystick, moving around. No issues whatsoever. I'm going to grab this dagger. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice that you have different slots. You get the traditional Zelda layout where you can have some of your items which are mapped to your B buttons, A button, X, Y, or whatever you're playing on. And then you have those 5 squares to the left of that, and that's going to be items that you're able to pick up.
Okay.
So now that we have a dagger, we can break these pots, and we can get on our way to start this out. So this is going to look very similar to one of the castles. Maybe could be the Castle Hyrule. I'll never tell. But we're going to be bouncing through now. At the bottom of the screen, you see the Triforce that's bouncing. You also have these green bars that are coming into it. That's going with the beat of the music that we're hearing.
So this is the thing that has kept me from playing this game. I do not love rhythm games. Like, I enjoyed Rock Band, like that, but I am not great at rhythm-based games. As much as I love the idea of something like Rappa or Jammer Lammy, I'm just not good at them. And this, like, I didn't play Crypt of the Necrodancer because of that. So this, as much as I think the Zelda aesthetic is really cool, and I think there's a lot of cool ideas in this game from what I've heard, this scares me, but I shouldn't be scared, right?
There's no reason to be scared. One, I think it's pretty easy to get into the beat of the music to follow through with it. There is a really cool option. I don't want to call it an accessibility feature, but you can go into the menu system here. Well, this is our inventory. And I can show you what I'm talking about. So if I move over, underneath options, there is a gameplay function, which is the fixed beat mode. And so if I turn this on, when we go back out, you'll notice... I don't know if I can save it, sorry. I have not played the game this way at length, but I have... There we go.
Oh, so it just cuts it out entirely.
So what you'll notice is nothing's moving on the screen right now.
Oh, yeah, because he was moving around that gem earlier.
So all the enemies are going to be moving in the sequence of the beat.
So it just makes it turn-based.
Essentially.
Okay. That I'm way more interested in. As a Fire Emblem
Pokemon
anything turn-based fan, this gets me way more excited.
Now, turn-based might be a bit generous, but I understand like where it tracks.
But you take a move and then they take a move.
Yeah, so they move when you move, essentially. It's kind of like Super Hot.
Just like that.
Just like that. So if I move down, they're now moving.
Shout out to
So this particular enemy, if we were playing with the beat on, is going to move on every second beat.
Okay.
But in this case, if I move forward, that was 1 beat, 2 beats.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's still, you have to understand a little bit about the enemies that you're against.
Why don't you go back to the rhythm mode, because that's what you're more comfortable with, and is also more...
Because I got the moves, Chase. I got the moves, I got the rhythm.
Yes.
As you know. So now, as you've seen, I'm hitting and that green spark's going. I'm moving within the beat.
Okay.
I'm doing good. I move through here. These items, you move around just very similar to Zelda. So this guy's going to start to move. He knows where I'm at. I move the wrong way, but I can then hit 2 beats down and take care of him.
Okay.
Neighbor's Love is assigned to R. This is going to allow me...
That seems handy.
It is. So I can hold this down, and that's my shield.
Yeah.
I'm using magic up there in the upper left-hand corner, just like I would with traditional Zelda.
This is sad, but I really don't think that's Smash.
I mean, that's not sad. As long as you know it, you know it. Now, typically, the way that these rooms work out...
Oh, can you reflect that back?
You can.
Do it.
So that missed beat... I can't. I don't hit it so much.
You have to, like, hit it at the exact time.
Yeah.
Kill.
Maybe. It looks like you're missing quite a few beats.
Oh, you could.
So they'll tell you to go over to that if you want to.
Okay.
At this time, I don't want to move over.
No.
I want to be a purist. Oh, I'm out of magic too.
Maybe why don't you just...
Okay. So now, once you clear the room of enemies, you have...
Yeah, the beat goes away.
Beat goes away and you can move around as freely as you want to.
Okay.
So this is telling you there's a Sheikah Stone here. You know that if you are defeated, the Fates will return you to the world any Sheikah Stone that you've activated. So these are going to be your warp points. These are also going to be like where you come back to if you die.
Okay.
So it's got...
Are these pretty plentiful in the world?
Yeah. So like if we open up our map here, this is the actual map view. It is small.
You also don't have much of it.
Not at this time.
Okay.
But you'll eventually fill this map up.
We will. You have a completed game that we'll check out in a bit, right?
Totally.
Okay.
That you can check out all these things here. Over there on the right, you get charms that are going to give you certain buffs throughout the game. Those are permanent. Over here for your inventory, your weapons, you'll get different versions of them, which is really neat for a Zelda game. Like, you've had, in Ocarina of Time, you had Big Goron Sword. You also had the Master Sword. Here, you're going to get different variations of these.
Yeah, I've seen like a sword that does like a big wide swipe and hits more enemies, or then there's like a spear, right, that hits from a long distance.
You can do spears. They've got like a ball and chain. All different kinds of things that you can get here with it. These are going to be more of the traditional items that you would get if you played Zelda. You're going to get a hook shot, a boomerang, bombs, etc., bow and arrow.
Are there bottles?
There are bottles in this game.
Yeah.
So you can get bottles as well.
Everything.
And then you have more what I would consider like the consumable stuff that goes down here that you can use, like the seeds and all that fun stuff.
Okay.
So back out here.
So has it told you where you're going right now?
No. Okay. So you're basically up here. You started this with the stones activated. You're in a particular area on top of it, which...
We're supposed to move that stone?
There's that stone that gets moved down there.
Yeah.
Then you can hop over and you go on the bridge.
I'm a genius.
You've played some Zelda before.
Maybe.
So Octavo is the musician that is the enemy from the Crypt of the Necrodancer series.
Oh, okay.
And that's who apparently has put Zelda into her slumber rather than Ganon. This is now giving you a breakdown, essentially saying, in traditional Zelda fashion, you need to get the champions to get back into the castle that's been locked down by the evil person. I'll never tell.
Okay.
So this is basically telling you have to travel through the world to get the champions. This is a relatively short game, Chase. You can play through it, I'd say, anywhere from like 8 to 10 hours.
But it does have replayability, right?
It's absolutely got great replayability.
And there's a daily challenge.
There is. And it's a permadeath mode, which is fun. So it's essentially like how far can you run in the game before completely dying. And I think that's one, really difficult. But when I think about some of the games done quick stuff and like these speed runs that people have, I can only imagine how cool that might be.
If you
the chicken attacks are there. So if you've played any Zelda game in the past, you know that these chickens...
Oh, hell yeah.
The chickens...
This is a Zelda game.
Hey, this is pod racing.
Yes. Love it.
So this is also telling you the certain things like, hey, you can only get to certain points until you get all the right goodies to do this. You're going to need certain elements to get past it. In this particular case, we can't really do a whole lot. Get some more magic.
Can you throw a bomb at him? That do it?
To this person?
Yeah.
No. But that particular problem there.
Oh, does that thing force you to go left?
Yeah, so you can't get past it here. This is always going to send you to that direction. Now, even if I was able to move this right now, I could take that, and if I push it on top of it, it'll move it over, which in theory could help me get up to where I'm going, but we're just not quite ready for it yet.
Okay. Well, I don't... choose to flip over whenever you need to. I feel like we've seen generally what this game's about. If you want to switch to your finished game and show off other stuff.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, if I save and quit out, we'll go back into the actual menu here.
And we're playing with the sound off just for our recording setup, but
yeah,
this game music, it rips.
It's arguably, in my opinion, like Zelda music's always been my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
On our podcast, we do the Casual Hour. We've had a few episodes where we talk about the sound of video game music, and I always bring something from Zelda to that. And this particular game has done a phenomenal job of bringing what worked in Crypt of the Necrodancer, because it is more like a heavy rock kind of deep bass soundtrack, and they've overlaid it into some of these themes that you're used to hearing from Zelda. And the menu systems and the way it drops things out. There's also a chaos mode, like this particular one right now. Anytime that you see the beat going is a chaos mode. You have to clear out the enemies, and once you clear it out, it's going to be more of a peaceful version of that song. The music does so much for the game. It's a little bit harder to play without, but from the previous mention, this is what the map ends up looking like.
Okay, that's
this is Hyrule.
That's bigger.
It is absolutely bigger. You've got a lot of the known things here. You've got the desert setting. You've got your Death Mountain setting. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have the Hyrule Castle. Mm-hmm. The Lost Woods are even here,
okay,
which is fun to get through. The way that they do those musics. The music in those particular tunnels. There's 4 main bosses before you get to the final. Each area that you see here is going to have one. So your Forest Temple, Death Mountain, Desert, all the normal things are there. Any of those stones that you activated are going to show up on the map as those kind of gray and blue icons.
Okay, yeah, so there's actually quite a few.
There's a good amount of them. And you can go to all those locations. So
why don't you take me to somewhere different?
Okay. Let's go check out this location.
Bobby, do you think this would be your favorite Zelda game?
Man, that's a tough question. To date this recording, we're recording on the 17th. We're 3 days away from the remake of Link's Awakening. This game might have, in my opinion, the upper hand just because it's so different.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that I've never played before.
Okay, it's a lot.
There's a lot going on here.
What's your weapon?
I will pull that up.
Is this the Master Sword?
No. The Master Sword is not here.
Not in the game at all?
No.
Oh.
So I'm playing with a broadsword. This particular one is the Caladbog?
Sure.
I guess.
Caladbolg?
There's a few things here that are pretty cool. They've got these, which I would love to see this brought over a little bit further, even in something like Breath of the Wild where you had a lot more weapons. Mm-hmm. But one of the things about it is all these have a history. These are unique items in the game.
Oh, sure. Like that's Impa's spear.
Yeah.
99.
So you have these items, and in each particular category, I have different ones. So I can select it, and I can go to these different versions. Now, some of these, like this titanium one, that's the Hylian one. If I take this one, you can go and like find certain fairies and upgrade it, and you can progress these with like materials that you pick up in the game.
Okay.
But it's nice to have some of these items that you can switch over to.
Is that a hammer?
Oh no, that's a war drum.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can use this to skip a beat and power up your attacks following the beat.
Okay.
But they've got stuff that's brought over from all the different eras of Zelda.
Yeah.
So you've got your Deku Leaf here, you've got the Great Bow.
What are your
So
maracas and your...
Yeah. Do you remember what you had to acquire in Ocarina of Time?
Oh, sure, like those...
The spirit crystals,
yeah.
essentially. That's what these are.
Okay.
So this is like, these are meant to be your progression. So
actually, very close to what Link's Awakening is, because you're collecting like musical things in that game as well.
So you have those here. These particular things are moves that you unlock. So these are always going to be there.
Okay.
I've upgraded to the Mirror Shield. As you know, if you play through that, you get a few different variations of it. But these particular items you can get. So like, I might get a damage ring. I might find some boots that allow me to have a hover.
Okay.
So if I jump off of a cliff, like I can essentially move over an area without having to like go through and do certain things,
Sure.
which is great.
Why don't you go through a few more screens?
Yeah.
Have you unlocked? Is that chest still available to open?
Over there?
Yeah.
So the chest is going to respawn.
Oh. Okay.
Certain ones will.
So do you think it's just
Potentially. Could be a pair of boots. So I'm going to move back over to my broadsword. Now if I go over here to this, that's activated. God, I don't have my shield with this guy.
like a big coral?
Yeah, you trade off there, but you also, I'm able to essentially attack over the span of 3 tiles.
Yeah.
So I just got to repeat.
Okay.
Still some creatures to kill here. I'll just move past. So you don't have to clear the board. It's completely up to you. Certain, like this chest here requires to defeat all the enemies. So I essentially would want to do that here. Now that chest is accessible. Now I got a Skull Charm. They're going to show up on the actual main screen now, which is great.
Already beaten.
I have.
Okay.
Now that diamond that I just picked up, that diamond currency is pretty cool. If you do die, you're taken to a portal essentially before you warp back to your
Oh yeah, because this is kind of a roguelike in a way.
Yeah. So if I die...
It's like a very easy roguelike that you should probably almost never die in.
I mean, at the beginning, it's like you get to a point in this game where...
Once you get enough hearts like you have now, it's
or the
pretty
items.
hard to...
It's a little tough at the beginning, but like you get to a point where, like, one of the things I've heard complaints about is you just get so powerful. Like this, I mean, as you can see here, there's nothing that gets in my path that I just can't one hit. I'm honestly going through this in a way where I'm not explaining a lot of the movement patterns that I know. Like,
I think people are like, so you've been collecting quite a few rupees. You've got 70 in the last screen.
Yep.
What are you spending those on?
So you can buy certain potions and upgrades and stuff like that. So if I get to a spot where I can actually just take us there, I don't think I can warp right now until I get out of combat. Yeah, but I can go up to like a potion shop. Now, there's shops beyond that. Whenever you get into some of these dungeons, there's always going to be a dungeon shop where you can go in. I wanted to maybe get, like, I need. Yeah. Nope. Sorry.
So it seems like this game is...
It's okay. Like if I wanted to get a ring that did more damage, like whenever you get these diamonds, right? So if I was reloading, I have the opportunity to say, I just got my ass kicked by this boss. I need to have the boots that give me more defense, and I want to have the ring that gives me more. If I have enough diamonds, you can essentially buy those 2 items right out the gate, load back into your instance, and go into that spot.
Okay. Are there no permanent unlocks?
There are.
Okay.
So some of those that we talked through, these are going to be your permanent situations. Everything over here beneath your musical items on the screen, these are going to be the items that are not permanent. So like the shovel's not going to be there. The torch isn't going to be there. So anytime you die, you don't have these bottom 4.
Okay.
Shovel's super important to get through a lot of the things in the game. That's directly taken from Cadence. The torch is going to let you burn down things, but also see stuff. And then your boots and your ring, they help out a lot, and especially if you are fighting the tougher boss early in the game, like, you're going to want to have those. These particular things you can actually, like, these are consumables. Okay. So I've got some potions, I can use those. If I have a fairy in a bottle, just like the other ones, if I die, the fairy will come out and revive me. But these items here are going to stay. But these are more like one and done. So I can electrocute everything that's on the screen. These particular things allow me to swim deeper, faster. I can wear that essentially and like go into the fire areas if I need to.
Okay.
But if I wanted to warp to a shop, I think there's one here. Pretty sure. Yeah. So if I go in here, now I can use those rupees. So I can buy more potion, for example. There's going to be other ones where you can buy certain of those items that you used to upgrade your gear with.
Okay.
This is the fortune tellers from the other ones. You can also get your fortune read. It'll essentially tell you
where to go next.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's such a rad screen. I'm at the point in this where it's like that's the only thing left to do. But if you were looking for a particular mini boss, it'll be like, hey, check in the upper right hand corner or something like that. And so then it pops up on here and says, hey, that's what I'm talking about.
That's super helpful. Okay. It's not just giving you a hint, it's
literally telling you on the map where to go.
Cool. All right.
So this is Cadence. It's a really cool game if you're a fan of Zelda. I don't think that the rhythm stuff should scare you off.
No, especially since it has that fixed beat mode. But
well, totally.
It doesn't even seem like the actual rhythm stuff is that different.
No. Some things that I really do like about this game, you know, I think that it's got co-op, which you didn't play today. Mm-hmm. You can do localized co-op on it. It does a great job of introducing you into a rhythm game. Like, it'll allow you to turn things off if you want to have those off, but it also gives you the opportunity to get to know, especially if like you've grown up playing Zelda, like you know the music, you know where the beats are coming on certain ones. Like we've all heard the overture for Hyrule Field. We know how the Great Fairy's theme sounds, so you can move to those certain things. You also have a nice indicator down at the bottom. And if you're struggling, the game's gonna let you know, like, hey, this isn't working out. Like, why don't you try it on this for a while and understand like how these enemies move.
How are you getting new weapons? Are there like those spears in the ground, things that you can pick up?
So he threw those.
Oh.
But earlier, whenever we were playing that glass, this guy up here.
Oh yeah.
We picked one of those up.
Okay, so they just drop from enemies.
Yeah. Now that particular one, that will break.
Sure. Breaks if you get hit.
Yeah. So it does 3 damage. So early in the game, like the one that I have right now, that does 3 damage. So that's a high-end weapon.
Sure.
But this one, early in the game, you can grab. It's gonna do the same damage, but if you get hit, you lose it.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's some of these weapons that are consumable in that sense.
Cool.
This one you actually might recognize, Chase.
Yeah, the Koeneke.
So then I can push this around.
Yeah.
And that is from
a lot of games.
It's from a lot of games,
yeah,
but
I remember it from Oracle.
I have the glove on where I can pick things up right now. The hook shot is really cool, so I can move over.
Boomerangs, I mean.
Yeah. The other thing that's neat too is like, so I have. Right now I'm holding the arrow down. If the beat was going, it'll release and move at the pace of the beat.
Oh, okay.
So let me see if I can get into a situation where I can show you that. Get my butt kicked right now because there's a ton of higher level guys here. Let's try on this one. So let's say I miss beat. So you want to hit your arrow on the beat to actually shoot it. And again, you kind of get accustomed to moving without the beat. Once you clear an area, you go back into it, it can be a little jarring. So we just got that ring that we fell onto. Mm-hmm. That particular ring is going to do blasting, makes you immune to all explosive damage.
Oh, it's too bad you had to get exploded to get the ring in the first place.
It worked out well, right?
All right, well, cool. $20 you said?
$25. $25 for this.
That's still not bad.
I think that if you love the Zelda series, you owe it to yourself to check this out. Don't be intimidated by the rhythm keeping. Again, like you can play it without.
Especially if you're looking for something new. I mean, if you're looking for a very classic Zelda experience, like we said, we've got Link's Awakening coming back very, very soon. But
and you got now there's 2 Zelda games you can get if you're a Nintendo Online subscriber.
That's very true.
So you get those, and Breath of the Wild as well. So I'm always happy for more Zelda. It's a game I didn't know I wanted until I played it, and I'm so thrilled to have it. It's a ton of fun. Great art, great music, great story. Just one of my favorite experiences this year, without a doubt.
Hey, thanks for showing me.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you listening.